How old are you?
6.
Alright boys, let's talk about 2016 YouTube for a little bit. 2016 is a monumental year for YouTube. I was thinking about this the other day, and in fact I've been thinking about it for quite a long time. When I think back to my personal favorite years of YouTube, they would have to be between 2015 and 2017. I think that is what myself, along with many others, consider to be the golden age of YouTube. The golden age of YouTube, in my opinion, basically takes place after two separate ages. You have the early stone age of YouTube with YouTubers like Fred, Annoying Orange, and then later on people like Smosh and Tobuscus becoming extremely popular. That's before we move on to the silver age of YouTube, or maybe the bronze age, I don't know. I never took a science class. I would say this more so represents the gaming culture and the corporate nature of a lot of channels coming into play. You have the YouTube gaming boom, people like Pewdiepie becoming extremely popular, and then, you know, a lot of copycats coming after him, I think. Yeah, Let's Plays are huge at this time. Then you have a lot of like popular daily show channels, night show channels, celebrities making YouTube channels. That all starts coming in around this time too, in the silver age of YouTube. And finally, around 2015, maybe late 2014, someone decided, hey, what if I just uploaded whatever the fuck I want? And then all hell broke loose. 2016 YouTube is incredible. When I look back at it, I look back maybe more cynically rather than nostalgically, because there are a lot of very cringy channels to come out of this period of time. For example, so when I look at the best 2016 YouTubers, there are a lot of people I'm going to throw out right off the bat. You've got people like Rice Gum, Trash, Garbage. You got people like the Paul brothers starting to come around. Throw Up, Vomit Inducing. And in my personal opinion, a lot of the channels that I watched around 2016 weren't the huge channels. I didn't watch a ton of PewDiePie. I was watching like Red Letter Media and channels like that. And granted, I have a section later on that's going to explain just that. But I was able to boil 2016 YouTube down, into 4 different categories of YouTubers, okay? And I'm going to explain each category beforehand because I believe all of these YouTubers fit comfortably into each category. So, the first category of 2016 YouTubers that I'm going to discuss, I'm going to pick one winner out of... I didn't explain this well beforehand, okay? I don't speak a lot. Period. I'm going to pick a winner out of each category, and then I'm going to explain who the winner is between all 4 categories, right? We got that in our brains? Alright, let's go for it. Yes, I did write all this down on the back of a D&D sheet, so, the first category I simply titled Muckrakers. Based off of that old American political phrase, because this category is going to all of the drama channels, it's all of the reaction channels that were super popular during this time, just spreading and creating drama between each other. Really unnecessary, childish, and unprofessional drama, by the way. When I look back at the negatives of 2016 YouTube, all of this unnecessary beef flying around, it looks like Wendy's. I don't want to eat in a damn Wendy's. Actually, Wendy's is pretty good, never mind. So, the YouTubers that I consider to be the most prominent and important figures of 2016 within the Muckraker category have to be Leafyishere, Keemstar, Pyrocynical, Grade A Under A, and Scarce. Now, some of these are more news-based channels, and some of them are more commentary reaction channels. Channels like Leafyishere and Pyrocynical popularized the gameplay, reaction, commentary, roast video subgenre overall. I think that between the two of them, I prefer Pyrocynical just a little bit, even though I literally haven't really watched a video in this style since 2016 because let's be honest, I outgrew it. Pyrocynical was at least less likely to use slurs and really offensive language during his videos, but he's also like a child predator, right? So yeah, fuck that guy. They both suck. Leafyishere recently tried to have a comeback in 2020, but sadly his content was mostly just poking fun at other YouTubers in a way that seemed pretty passive-aggressive and kind of spiteful, to be honest. Like he was trying to get back at them for how they used to make fun of him back in the day. And Leafyishere, I'll be honest, I kind of respect the guy because he's so adamantly himself, you know? But on the other hand, yeah, he seems like a bit of a dumbass by a lot of his political takes. Look, in 2016, everyone said the N-word, right? But Leafyishere seems like the only guy to still say the N-word in 2021, so that's why I've got to just knock him out too. Keemstar, human trash. Nothing else to say. He's a garbage can with arms and legs. Very strong arms and legs, might I add, because he can run pretty fast. I like some of the memes surrounding Keemstar, but ultimately he seems like a horrific human being. Like, even if a quarter of the shit I've heard about him is true, he's garbage. And his videos are pretty bland anyways. I'm actually going to give the winner of this category to Grade A Under A guy who I didn't particularly love during 2016, but I really appreciated his minimalistic art style, along with his accent. Is that racist? I love his accent, dude. He has such a cool accent. I think he has the best comedic delivery out of this group. I think he had the most influence in terms of staying power. And like I said, I really liked his art style in a lot of ways. It reminds me of like channels like Jaden Animations in a weird way, even though Grade A Under A is obviously not a professional art guy. So yeah, I'm giving this one to Grade A Under A. He wins out of this category. Everyone else sucks. Thank you. The next category, I'm just gonna be titling it Comedians, right? Because none of them are funny. I'm joking. This category, pretty simple. You're gonna recognize most of these names. H3H3, Filthy Frank, iDubbbz, and Pewdiepie. I think these guys represent the 4 quadrants of comedy during YouTube. H3H3 also made reaction videos somewhat similarly to Leafyishere and Pyrocynical, but H3H3, I feel like his comedy was much more solid, relied much more on preconceived formulas such as joke setup, joke delivery, and joke payoff, rather than Leafyishere, who would just say like, dude, he's gay, dude, he's so gay, literally he's gay. H3H3 at least tried to set up decent jokes. I think he had better delivery, and he's a pretty good physical comedian also. The Vape Nation stuff was pretty funny. I like all of his original reaction videos to memes. He just didn't seem to take the YouTube game as seriously as other people did, and I really appreciated that. All of his beefs seemed kind of ironic and memey, and I really liked that a lot as well. H3H3 also fell off pretty hard post-2016, I'd say. His podcast is a pretty big flop. He doesn't seem to be the best podcaster. He said some dumb stuff on it. And even though he did have some edgy elements in his early videos, I would say much less so than a lot of other YouTubers did. And I would also say that he did a really good job of growing his channel from 2016 to now to become a more progressive, less offensive channel. Even though I did kind of prefer his content a little bit back in 2016, in terms of entertainment value at least. I don't think his channel is really entertaining at all, even though he seems like a more decent person. Filthy Frank, oh boy. When I was talking about someone who decided, let's just upload whatever the fuck I want in the year 2016, Filthy Frank is probably that guy. The things he's uploaded to YouTube, man. He's vomited, he's sworn, he said the N-word, he's bled, he's gambled, he's smoked, he's drank. Dude, he's awesome. Okay, but more seriously, I do like Filthy Frank. I like him a lot. Not only because his humor is extremely offensive, which it is, don't get me wrong, it has a point to that offensive nature. There's almost a post-ironic glow to a lot of Filthy Frank's humor. He knows what he's doing is stupid, he knows what he's doing is dumb, and the point of his jokes are that they're stupid and dumb, and that you should despise this person as a character because he's a horrible human being. And yeah, would I want to hang out with Filthy Frank? Probably not. He seems like an asshole character. It's really funny. A lot of his in-person pranks were real and also funny as well. His pink eye character, a lot of the lore elements he added into his videos were super cool, revolutionary for the time because there wasn't a lot of storytelling going back on YouTube back in the day. And ultimately, yeah, it was just a funny channel. I just think his humor is right up my alley. A lot of his videos are kind of amateurish, but also I think that works to his credit because it seems like some psychopath in his basement making videos. I love Filthy Frank. I love this channel. Is it offensive? Yes. I don't think you can make this type of content anymore, and that may be for the better, but it's also probably for the worse because, like I said, I think Filthy Frank has a good point to his YouTube videos. Pewdiepie. Oh boy. The reason why I'm putting Pewdiepie in the comedian list instead of a different tier list that we're going to talk about a little later is because his content evolved. Pewdiepie has evolved a lot during his time, and I think that's really the main reason why he's been so popular so consistently throughout the years. He hasn't just been screaming gamer boy for his entire career. Around this point, he was getting influenced by a lot of YouTubers like Filthy Frank, like iDubbbz and H3. He was doing a lot of crossover, and he was doing more reaction, commentary, and comedies-based videos during this time. I will say I appreciate Pewdiepie for the risks that he took during this time period. Being the #1 YouTuber, he could have just been making Screaming Boy content forever, but he decided to make kind of out there commentary videos and like humor skit videos, like his Beast Hunter videos, his videos where he blew up the car, his songs. There were a lot of decent moments coming from Pewdiepie in 2016. However, I think ultimately what sets him back and what makes him not win this category is that I don't think his comedic timing, his delivery, and his style are that funny. He comes off as pretty try-hard during this time, like he's really trying to be as edgy as Frank, but he's the #1 YouTuber, so he can't be quite that edgy. But I do appreciate him for what he did. He's also someone who I think made a lot of growth between that point in time and now. It's been 5 years. He's apologized for a lot of the stuff he did back then, rightfully so. He did some trash too, but he's nowhere near the biggest loser on this list at all. I would place him near the top of the YouTubers in 2016, but not #1. iDubbbz, funny guy. Like Frank, making a lot of outlandish humor, a lot of abstract comedy during this time. His series like Kickstarter Crap and his Mail series, they were all very funny. Content Cop obviously is a classic. However, I will say Content Cop seems kind of childish by today's standard. He was talking about, Ian was talking about this in a recent live stream where he said the Content Cop kind of seemed like him deciding which content is good and which content is bad, and it made him seem pretty cynical, pretty posturing, as if his voice was more important than others, and I agree with that. The Content Cop series is, I wouldn't say cringe at all, because a lot of them are fun to watch, and fun to watch his arguments being laid out, but they are kind of like, they're old. You know, I think he's done them enough, and I think he's realized, hey, I'm not someone who should really be considered an authority on humor and making YouTube channels. So I kind of appreciate that he's led more away from that. I prefer modern day Ian to 2016 Ian. I really do. I love his documentary series. I think they're really cool. I like the way his somewhat offensive and edgy style of humor has modeled into today's society, and his humor has become I wouldn't say better, but it's been different for sure. He seems more humble, he seems more charismatic, I would say, than he did back in 2016, and ultimately, I think he's happier now, and that's really dope. I liked a lot of his content in 2016. I wouldn't say every joke hit. Sometimes his videos did devolve into just being him like picking up an item and swirling it around and making funny faces, which isn't really my cup of tea per se, but I would say he's pretty good. I'm gonna pick Filthy Frank to win this category, because if anyone represented 2016 outlandish humor, it's him. It's Filthy Frank. I can't believe that man has a damn R&B career now. I'm gonna call this next category the normie category. We're gonna go through this bad boy pretty fast. Lily Singh was really popular during this time, a lifestyle YouTuber. Maybe she was a makeup YouTuber, I don't really know. I didn't keep up with this lane of YouTube very much. She's fine for what she is. I've seen a few videos, it's not offensive at all. She is okay. David Dobrik, once again, kind of rising during this time. His content was hot ass. Look at all the thumbnails and titles from his videos back in 2016. Jesus Christ, they're all the same, and they're all cancer. I would say he's one of the few YouTubers that actually did evolve past his prime, because even though all of his giving away Lambo videos are so predictable and so outdone at this point in time, at least he's like laughing and having fun. He seems so cringe in these early videos. Shane Dawson. He was really big in 2016. He was making his transition into becoming a relatable YouTuber, having a more teen audience, a more female-based audience. He wasn't quite into his makeup phase yet, but he was doing a lot of vlogs, a lot of trying to eat challenges and stuff. And was he entertaining? Maybe a little bit, you know. Shane Dawson is always kind of entertaining, at least in a car accident kind of way, if not on the occasional times that he's legitimately funny, but he's like a pedophile, right? And his jokes suck. Like, his jokes almost always suck. His planned out jokes are so offensive, so trash, and they don't work other than the shock humor and the shock value that they provide. I'm also gonna put Markiplier on the list of normie YouTubers. Kind of weird, you're probably thinking, because Markiplier back then wasn't really a normie YouTuber, and I'll admit to that. But when it comes to the gaming content, this is the second historical YouTube phase of gamers. They already were the peak of popularity during like 2013 to 2015, but now they're kind of entering the second phase of their careers, where people like Jacksepticeye and DanTDM and Markiplier were becoming very, very normal to watch, and their content was kind of becoming watered down because of the whole adpocalypse situation. Markiplier's okay. He's fine. He seems like a genuine guy. Markiplier seems like such a nice guy, and I would like to meet him, and that's mostly the reason why I placed him at the figurehead of this gamer community in the normie list, because a lot of normies watched him, a lot of preteen girls watched him, a lot of teenagers watched him. Markiplier was the main gaming YouTuber, I would say, to watch during this 2016 era period of YouTube, since Pewdiepie was moving more so away from games. And he was fine. His Five Nights at Freddy's series it's a classic, you know. It's so funny to watch them back, because they're not cringe, but it's like, wow, I was legitimately entertained by this back in 2016, and I am not now. His content hasn't aged great, but like I said, he seems like such a good person. I'm gonna put him at the head of this list just because, hey, I'm not putting Shane Dawson or Lily Singh here, man. I'll put Markiplier here, sure. But I added a different category. I'm going to call this category the underrated category. YouTubers that I liked a lot during the day that were growing in 2016, they weren't as offensive or as edgy or as out there as a lot of the big boundary pushing YouTubers like Frank, like Pewdiepie, like Leafy. And they weren't the normies either. They were providing more interesting content than a lot of the normie creators. Here's some of the creators that were really killing it during 2016 that don't get a ton of credit. Jax Films, Moist Critical, Internet Common Etiquette, Douchebag Chocolat, IHE, Red Letter Media, and Jenny Nicholson are a lot of great YouTube channels from 2016. And there are so many more. There's so many more channels from 2016 that were killing it in terms of the quality of their content, but they weren't as popular or boundary pushing as a lot of the other channels that I previously mentioned. I would say Jax Films is really killing it with his series-based content. Yai, there are other ones too. Yeah, Your Grammar Sucks, Jackass. There are a lot of really good series that he used to create running gags and a really great community on his channel. Internet Common Etiquette, one of the funniest guys on the platform. Hilarious, great comedic delivery. His ads are incredible. I don't think they were in 2016 though. Moist Critical was really getting into his bag as a sort of ironic gamer commentary channel. Douchebag Chocolate, hilarious anime reviewer. He was an anime reviewer, but he was also doing comedy. He was so satirical, so funny. IHE, popularizing sort of the long-form movie review. Well, he didn't really popularize it, Red Letter Media did, but he was also doing commentary videos. Very cynical channel. I don't really know who would win this because honestly, I don't feel like any of these channels are big enough to be considered the best YouTuber of 2016, but they're good channels, you know. I'm gonna give Internet Common Etiquette the nod here to make him the forerunner for best YouTuber of 2016. I just want to say, shout out to my friend Roman for getting me this mug, dude. This is such a nice coffee mug. It's hilarious. I knew I had to use it for this video. So yeah, that means the winners of the lists are, who the hell were they? Grade A, Under A, Filthy Frank, Markiplier, and Internet Common Etiquette. Huh. That's not who I thought would win, honestly. I didn't script this video out. This is kind of crazy. I kind of want to give the win to Filthy Frank. I really do. Even though I wouldn't say Filthy Frank is the best YouTube channel in 2016, his channel is what represents 2016 the most. His style of humor is insane. He did things on YouTube no other human being will ever be able to do. And I appreciate him for that. He kind of reminds me of a lot of performance comedians. A little bit of Andy Kaufman, a little bit of Sacha Baron Cohen, some Eric Andre a little bit, but it's great. It's perfect for YouTube. It's something that fans can find a niche. It's a niche thing that fans can relate to and really enjoy and create such a solid, diehard fan base. Even though they were a little toxic, even though they were a little racist. That's 2016 for you, baby. Trump was president. Filthy Frank was the #1 YouTube channel of 2016. Yeah, I haven't shown my face on this channel in a while. Is it because I'm self-conscious? Maybe a little bit. Is it because I'm lazy? Yeah, mostly that. But thank you so much for sticking around, guys. I'm gonna do some crazy things with this channel, man. What are those crazy things? I don't know, but you better stay subscribed, and you better hit that button, and the bell, and the like button, and the comment button, and all those buttons, because they help me out, and I make so much money. I'm a millionaire because of YouTube. Love you. Bye.